Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Sashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys, I hope all is well. This evening, no periodic table talk tonight or alien talk. However, the creator gave me a download. Actually, I got this download a few days ago, and I wanted to actually do a little bit more research, but the creator told me to go ahead and release this now. Okay. So, sugar. If you know anything about sugar, then you already know it can be dangerous. So I want to first start off by saying I am not a medical expert. I am not a nutritionist. I follow my own guidance and diet plans and workout regimen. And what works for me may not necessarily work for you. However, science, multiple research studies have actually backed this up. However, we all have genetic, makeups that differ and vary. So again, one thing that may work for you may not work for someone else, okay? So do what works for you, do what's best for you. If you are struggling with addiction, I would first recommend that you go to the creator, okay? And also go back to what actually started the behavior. Of course, we know that there is a genetic and spiritual and environmental component related to drug use, abuse, and addiction in itself. But really focus on your first experience and experimentation with any kind of drugs or alcohol, okay? Think about the people, the environment, the circumstances that led to your first time engaging. What were your thoughts? How did you feel? And if you even intended on doing it again, okay? All of those things are important to begin. Of course, the first thing outside of the creator is your desire to want to stop, okay? Or keep going, or whatever your perspective and stance on your use, addiction, or whatever you want to refer to it as, is going to determine your ability to move forward without engaging or using, okay? Sugar has been notoriously known for giving people diabetes. In fact, a lot of the people who are addicts or in recovery are diabetics as well, okay? Not only does your body crave sugar when you are stepping out of addiction, right? When you are coming into addiction, sugar is just addictive on its own without you ever having to be a person who has used anything at all, right? So whether it is a drug, whether it is alcohol, whether it is sugar itself, okay? Your body is going to crave and require different things in order to step away. Now, sugar, fructose or glucose, even though they have some very peculiar, or I would say obvious differences, at the baseline, they're pretty much the same, okay? They just break down differently in our body, and they have different components and attachments as far as the different, structures goes, right? When we're talking about it on a molecular level. But what it does for the body is the same. Of course, natural sugar is always better. So other than natural sativa You have honey and maple syrup that are good natural sugars, okay? So if you're looking for any replacements or just things to kind of curb your appetite, of course, a bunch of water, a bunch of rest, exercising, a detox, okay, are some really good ways. Natural sugars are also some good ways to replace those cravings, okay? Usually a good tablespoon would do, okay? You could also just eat a piece of fruit or something that doesn't have high content of sugar, okay? Now, sugar in the body, when consumed, releases dopamine. Now, we've actually discussed fructose and glucose, right? But we also discussed hormones and how we get these feel-good hormones and these release that want us to constantly experience the things that make us feel this high, right? Sugar does the same thing in your body that drugs and alcohol does, okay? If not more. So, yes, sugar can be used to break addictions, but your body will also crave sugar when you are attempting, like I said, to step away from using any type of drugs, okay? Now, there are a lot of dangers here aside from you craving sugar, which is dangerous, right? You are at risk of becoming a diabetic or just having poor health as a result of consuming too much sugar. People who consume, whether it's alcohol or drugs, they have notoriously been known for being deficient, right? Nutrient deficient. And this is because the organs in the body are busy breaking down the chemicals and the components that are in the alcohol and the drugs. This is especially with alcohol, right? So quite naturally, your body is going to crave for sugars and salts. Just like we discussed with the menstrual cycle, same thing. When your body is depleted of something, it'll crave it. Or if it has too much of something, it'll crave the opposite of that thing, okay, right? So if you have consumed too much sugar, your body will crave salt and vice versa, okay? Now, there are tons of percentages that are related and connected to different research, studies. The numbers are kind of all over the place, but they're high, okay? I don't want to get into the statistics like that just because I haven't done actual research and gone into the logistics of it all, but it's important for us to understand the physical side of this, okay? We know about the spiritual part. We know that a lot of these addictions are, handed down, whether it be through environment, whether it be through genetics, whether it be through a spiritual attachment or curse, okay? We get that part. Here, we like to make the connection to the spiritual realm, okay? The things that are unseen. Because your body is requesting this pleasure from this dopamine being released, right? You have to find a way to get satisfaction without harming your vessel. Your spirit can be bogged down because your body isn't being taken care of, or because you just know that you are sick and you want to heal and you don't know exactly how to find that replacement or find something healthy that will give you a high that you are looking for, that will allow you to be fully released indefinitely, right? Once and for all from these desires. This goes back to the conversation we had about lust, okay? Remember, lust isn't just sexual. lust is also connected to things that we crave, things that we obsess over: money, food, attention, having dominion over people, places, and things and situations, okay? So it's not just always the physical part. We have to get to the root of what is making us feel that we absolutely need to do things. And it doesn't have to necessarily be drugs, but this sugar thing, it was confirmed today. Earlier, I overheard a conversation about someone talking about them being so addicted to candy and they wanted candy, and then it was like a real obvious confirmation that I needed to do this segment today. Okay? Now, this is where we get into discussion about, people say mind over matter and all of that, and that is definitely true. It's a thing. You have to want it, right? We said that. But the physical dependence that your body is going to have on anything, right, is where you have to learn your body. Because again, these things can be dangerous if you find yourself going from, and this is something we've learned, you will learn if you study anything in the medical field. I studied psychology. You're going to find that replacing one addiction for the next, or you will learn rather that it's not necessarily healthy, right? Taking one thing away that's maybe worse, more worse than another. True, of course, it's good to be able to step away from something that's harmful to your vessel or your spirit. But at the same time, being dependent on anything, okay, means that your body and your mind, especially if your mind doesn't want it and your body does, like there's a difference between you being adamant about wanting it and you make up your mind that you're going to do it and you actually carry it out and do it. That's one thing. But it's a different thing when you don't want it in your mind, but your body physically craves it. You have to find the missing link. That means something is missing. There's a link there that is missing. And we've had the discussion, I believe that I gave a surah and a verse out the Bible about how the Creator will have us stuck into things that we feel are no good for us. And the Creator has His own reasoning and timing for allowing certain things to be attached to us and for us to be attached to things outside of ourselves, outside of Him. Okay? So, before we go, I think it's just important to remember that sugar can be used to break an addiction, but just be careful. It's all about balance. If you are craving sugar and you are in the middle of a recovery, it's normal. Don't freak out. Don't overeat. Try to find something that is natural and something that is of a lesser evil. Okay? It's normal for people in recovery to crave sugar. Okay? It's normal. Relax. Your body will tell you when you need to lay off, and you need to follow that. This is how you build up your ability to ward things off that your body wants, that your mind doesn't, that you shouldn't have. This is how you build up your ability to say no to your desires that are, in fact, not good for you. Okay? So all of this is connected to your ability to build your spirit up, for you to get your body and your spirit on one accord, and we've talked about that. I don't remember the exact segment, but we've had a conversation about aligning your body and your spirit, and sometimes they're not being in the right dimension because your mind is vibrating on a certain frequency or you're in the wrong environment, whatever. Okay? But yeah, that's the gist of the conversation. Mind, body, soul. Alright? But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all are getting through this week good. It's hump day. I hope y'all are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it is most definitely free. Alright, but I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Love y'all. Peace.